Good morning. Good morning. Java Delight will uplift you. Stay tuned. The show is about to begin. Grab your coffee. Stay tuned. This show is about to begin.
Hey, what's going on? Good morning, everybody. My name is Gavin Kerr, and I am here with the one, the only, the smartest, most hardworking, most dedicated man I know, Brandon Croucher.
I feel like that was like scripted. Like I feel like I wrote that for you.
No, it wasn't. Well, I was thinking like, oh, what I say last time? I said he was handsome. I said he was bald. I said he had a beard. Let's do less physical things and more like personality traits.
I'm like I'm sitting here going, I always say how handsome you are, but that's because that's what you're known for. They're like, oh, he's young. I'm like, that's not a thing. Oh, he's sexy. Well, he is sexy, but at the end of the day, like he has more qualities than that.
I'd like to think that I'm more known for my entertainment factor than my no.
I couldn't resist. No matter what you said there, I was saying no.
Fine. I'll just be a piece of meat, I guess.
Hey, at least not all of us can be filet mignon, buddy.
Ooh, did you know? All right, that popcorn, like movie theater popcorn, cost more per ounce than filet mignon.
What? Like I'm letting that set in, and it doesn't seem correct. There's
Movie
no way.
Yes, it was one of my trivia questions a couple weeks ago. It's all like which expensive or which like famously expensive dish does movie theater cost more than per ounce? Filet mignon. That giant bucket of stale ass butter drenched popcorn that you get at the theater
that sits there all day.
Yep, it is more expensive per ounce than a filet mignon steak.
I have nothing I have rebutted for that because it's also more unhealthy than a quarter pound of a hot dog, according to Mr. Brett Gordon over here, which I could believe that.
Really?
The popcorn.
Oh, the popcorn. Okay.
Yep. More reason to go to the movies and leave cows alone. I don't think she meant go to the movies because that means we're getting the popcorn.
Yeah, no, the steak is cheaper.
Good morning, you beautiful souls.
That's more reason to stay away from the movies and go munch on some cows. They're cheaper.
No.
It's more cost efficient.
Either way, it's bad because she's vegan. So out of respect, it's like she's saying, don't eat the cow, go get the popcorn. But I'm saying the popcorn has butter, and that's made from the cow too.
That's true.
Like, I don't know which way she means on that. The more reasons to go to the movies and leave cows alone. Now, I'm not...
She could always, like, spray it down with vinegar instead of butter.
True. Have you ever done that? I don't think
I'm not a big vinegar person. I dated this girl for a while, and she was, like, crazy into vinegar. Like, when we would go to Cedar Point, she would just have her fries swimming in it. I don't know how the hell she did that. I tried it once, and I was a little like,
Gavin, how was your night? How was your night, handsome?
My night was really good. Friend Abigail came over. We went and we got some ice cream. Hung out in the metro parks a bit. We actually didn't. We didn't go.
I'm sorry.
Abigail.
Who came over? Got it.
Friend of mine, Abigail. Yeah. A friend of mine for the past couple years now. Came over. We got some ice cream. So it was hot as hell out. Went to the metro parks. Never been to the falls, so we checked that out. The Berea Falls. It was a good time. Then I got a pizza. Got like my favorite pizza ever. It was stuffed crust with pepperoni and pineapple and mushrooms and extra cheese. And oh my God, was it cheesy. What's up, Brandon?
Well, I have multiple questions. One, which Berea Falls did you go to? There's two.
There's two. Whichever the one is that you and I usually meet at with the loft there. Yeah.
Yeah, you know the other one's not like it has a little bridge. It's nowhere near as big as the one you and I meet at. I just asked because there is two, and when you tell people to meet you there, I always get people to meet me at the wrong one.
I didn't even know there was another one.
Yeah, and two was I don't remember because I was so focused on making sure I knew where the second one was. I was waiting for you to ask me where it was. Literally down the road. Like,
gotcha.
I ride my bike past both. One day I'm going to come out there and you and I are going to go for a bicycle ride. And I have rode my bike from the airport to the Strongsville Mall, which is a good 15-minute drive on the highway. I love to ride my bike and go on these distance things. Yeah. But Gavin, right next to the Strongsville Mall is Monkey Town. Do you know what that is?
No, what the hell is Monkey Town?
It's part of the Metro Park system here, and you actually get to climb in the trees, and like you're hooked up, and you scale and walk a whole jungle gym, like huge, like obstacle course thing up in the trees.
Oh, that sounds amazing! That's awesome.
Right? I knew you'd like that.
I would love to do that. So well, I was scrolling through Instagram this morning and just, sitting on the toilet and scrolling through Instagram like people do. And a friend of mine recently was swimming with sharks. I was like, damn, I need to do something cool. It's been a while since I've done something like cool in life. So I think that we need to go to Monkey Town. That sounds like a blast.
My thing is, I have a question. What is this swimming with shark things? For real, in the last 12 hours, I have seen 3 people, including your friend now, mention that they've either going to swim with sharks or wanting to swim with sharks.
I don't know. It was on. I don't think this has anything to do with it, but like I heard somebody on a podcast. I think it was Joe Rogan. Was talking about swimming with sharks a little bit ago, but I don't know if that was a recent episode and if that sparked a whole bunch of people's interest in it, or maybe it's just the universe saying, hey, go dance with death for a little bit, because that's essentially what you're doing when you swim with sharks. Like, they're not in a cage or anything. They're swimming around. Like, they're like right there with them.
You know my pink shirt you've seen me wear that has like a rainbow on the front, but it's like a fish rainbow? Like the fish painting. That is actually from a spot my sister swam with great white sharks. Like, for real, she was in a cage.
Holy shit!
Chum out.
Oh, okay.
You get it. Yeah, she's in a. You got to have a cage with great whites. But she was in there, and she had her phone. She has video of the shark like biting right by the camera. Like it was pretty cool. She was one of the 3 that mentioned to me. She's like, "Oh, I want to go swim again with the sharks." So.
I've swam with a shark. When I was in Belize, swimming underwater, I found a nurse shark and just kind of chilled with that for a bit. That was pretty cool. And then I swam with a manta ray, which was unworldly. Like when we were in Belize, we were getting ready to get out of the boat or get into the boat, and we just saw this huge black shadow just swimming towards us. And it was a full-grown manta ray. It was like 10 feet wide. It was insane.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right, let's dive in. Let's say our hellos and what we're grateful for this morning. Or do you have anything else that you want to add? I just don't want to cut you off. I'm sorry.
I also watched the movie Big Daddy last night, which I forgot of how great of a movie that is.
Adam Sandler,
Big Daddy. I forgot how good of a movie that was.
That is a good movie. Actually, all right, so since you said that, I'm going to play with this. So last night, my dad and I were my mom had to have a shot that she had to get calcium, and she's not feeling well. And what made it even more fun was she fell asleep with the TV on, and Mrs. Doubtfire was on. and I'm in the other room cooking dinner, and you can hear me making jokes. Like I'm literally quoting lines. I'm singing the songs. I'm oh, your tea, stuff like that. And my dad goes, "What other movies would you say are his best movies?" Like for Robin Williams. I just started shooting movies out, and he's like, "I didn't think of that. I didn't think of that. I didn't think of that." So I was grateful because I literally got to have this really fun conversation breaking down great movies of Robin Williams, only Robin Williams movies with my dad last night. And him and I have very different tastes in movies and very different tastes in shows. But at the end of the day, we both were going like, "Good Morning Vietnam." Oh my God, yeah, that's a great one. Oh, good morning. Jaybird. Do you see what he says? Sharks, monkeys, and wild taters. I love it.
What the hell is a wild tater?
Wild tater tots.
Oh, so he didn't mean tater tots. Okay.
Even if he didn't, that's how I'm reading it. I want tater tots now.
Just sharks, monkeys, and tater tots?
Yup. But I am grateful because the conversation my dad and I had was fun, but it was able to lead to him and I actually breaking down boundaries with each other through Robin Williams movies. And I literally was like, it was a great night. We sat on the backyard. It was 70 degrees. We smoked a cigar and talked. And I haven't had that in a long time. So I'm grateful that I was able to turn my phone off and just connect with my dad. And this morning, my mom was not feeling well still. So I made her breakfast. And when we're sitting there, she and I are talking. My mom and I just had a wonderful conversation about why she's not feeling good. And it was nice to actually connect with my parents in a different way. We don't always do that because we're always so busy and everybody's always going 100 miles an hour. So being able to have those, like within the last 12 hours, a moment of pure conversation, love, and compassion with both my parents alone was really nice. So I'm grateful for both my parents and where I'm at right now in life. What about you, homie?
Ooh, I'm grateful for the friends that I do really have. I do have some amazing friends, people that I can. Yes, you are one of them. People who keep me busy, people who keep me focused on the things that I want to do. I'm also very grateful that a lot of them, most of them, because of like how I am over the years, understand that. You know, sometimes I'm just busy doing stuff, and it's not that I don't like or care about them. It's that I got to take time to take care of the things for me that I need to do, or the house, or the family, or whatever it is. So I'm very appreciative that I've had these long-term friends who have been around for 6 months to years. A couple of them have been around for years and years. My one buddy Andy, he's watched the show a few times. He comments now and again. He and I have known each other since like the second grade, and we will go literally 6 months to a year without talking. And then out of nowhere, one of us will just call the other and we'll just start talking for like 3 hours.
Really?
Like we'll pick up like we never left off. Absolutely. Yeah. I really am grateful for the friends that I have. You know, I can contact any of them at any time I need to. They can do the same for me. And we understand that, hey, we're living our own lives, doing the best that we can, but we're still there for each other.
I love it. I love it, buddy. That's all. You need friends like that in your life because there's so many people that are. It's kind of funny. I sent Jessica Dugas something I've been writing and been putting together, and I sent it to her this morning, and she literally sends me, "Hey, change this one word, and it will change the whole meaning of what you're trying to say." Because I told her where I was stuck, and it just flowed, and it's like what you were just talking about. So I might have to send it to you to have you read it. So what we're grateful for today. I'm going to kick off the gratitude today. Jessica was technically first. She beat us all to it. She always does. She's Jessica Dugas, one of the most amazing. Her breakthrough show this Friday, 1 o'clock Eastern time, 12 o'clock Central time. Do us a favor. We're going live, E360 TV. We'd love for you guys to come join us, laugh, have a good time. Gavin's wearing the onesie this time. She says that she feels great that I get to spend time with Brandon, Brett, and Fernando today. Woo, woo! Brett says he's grateful for life in the fast and slow lanes and living in the spectrum of gray. I like how he phrased that, the spectrum of gray. Like, very well said, Mr. Businesses Are People too, Brett Gordon. Rising Phoenix, good to see you this morning. Grateful you're here. I'm grateful to be learning whom I can trust to be in my life. And I think that's a
Nice.
great thing to say, because there's people all over the world that are always looking to hurt people, and they are very selfish, and there's always somebody else that's going to be there. Instead of getting mad when people hurt you, it's looking towards the future. They just showed you who they are, and they don't respect themselves enough to love you. So if they can't love you the way you're wanting it, guess what? Move along. They showed you who they are, and you could be grateful for knowing who the true people are in your life. Brian Tracy, I am grateful for the fact that you are one of the most adorable humans in the world. You have a huge heart, huge soul, and I am grateful for you being a part of our team. Yes, I did randomly burp there. And then Bob Seymour, thank you for the people in my life. Thankful for the people in my life. I love it. I love it. I love it. So Gavin, tonight you have trivia, don't you?
Yes, I do. I'm doing a party actually. So at Hatfield's Good Grub, I'm no longer doing the regular trivia that I'm usually doing there. They decided to no longer have that, but I'm doing the karaoke instead. Because the restaurant, while it is doing better, it's still kind of getting off its feet. And so they're trying to figure out what would be best to bring in a crowd. But they're having a party tonight that specifically requested trivia. So I will be doing trivia there tonight. So I'm excited about that.
That's awesome. I did miss one. Mandy Atterbury, I apologize. I am grateful for being alive. I love it. I love it. I love it. That's a pretty cool thing, buddy. You're going to be doing trivia tonight. Did they ask for a specific trivia, like Cleveland trivia, sports trivia?
They just said trivia.
Oh.
Yeah.
I had one I wrote down for you. I almost text you a random trivia question yesterday. I thought of it, and I'm like, I bet Gavin doesn't know this one.
Maybe. I don't know.
Do you have your trivia near you so we could play, or not yet?
Yeah, I got my bag over there.
All right, let's get ready, guys. Winner of this wins
let me grab
a
it.
kiss from Brett Gordon on the lips, whether you're a guy or a girl. Brett Gordon is in the background right now playing with his mouse. And he literally will be able to come on, and he is going to give everybody a kiss that wins this game, even if it's a tie. Gavin looks like he has a huge microphone in front of his face right now. Like, look at that. Look at the way it is. Like, that's awesome.
Perspective.
Respective. All right, guys. Brett, are you ready to give out kisses?
I got to find some questions. I'm just all on the answer keys right now.
All right. You're just on the answer keys. So I'm going to throw a question out there for everybody, okay? On a scale of 1 to 10, where do you feel your life is headed? 10 being you're reaching for your goals, you're going for it, and you're excited for the future. 1 being you're stuck in hell and you need to figure out your best you. Go ahead, 1 through 10. Are you following your path? Are you finding your dreams? Are you pushing through to be the best you? Or are you stuck in a rut and you want to break out? And that's why you're here today. Gavin, 1 to 10, where are you at, buddy?
An 8.
Ooh, good number. Good number. I like that because it means you have growth, but you also have.
Yeah, that's exactly right. There's always room for improvement.
I love it. I love it. Here we go. I see some answers coming in now. So why aren't they showing up on my screen so I can click? Okay. There we go. Bob Seymour says 9+. Brian Tracy says -2. Oh, buddy, that means you're at the third level of hell, man. You still have 4 more to go before you break through your breakthrough. Just keep pushing. Keep pushing.
Are we doing Dante's Inferno's rules for hell?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That way it makes it easy for us to know. Mandy Atterbury says 2. Mandy, you're doing great things. You're sending your music places. You've got your own place. You've been cleaning. I think you're at least a 5 to 6 with everything going on. You're building yourself. Keep going. Brett Gordon says, I think
compared to where she was a couple weeks ago, I think Mandy's doing phenomenal. She's definitely bringing things back.
Good morning, Beyond Moving Pictures Studios. Hope you're doing well. Brett says between 6 and 9 for 69. No wonder he's kissing everybody. He's laughing in the back. I love it. Breakthrough Show says she's at a 9. I honestly would put myself from anywhere from an 8 to a 9. I would literally say like I'm an 8.25 right now. And the reason I give myself that is I see growth. I see where I'm headed. But in my own heart, I don't think I'm being my best me, and I'm pushing through. Mandy changed. She went from a 2 to a 6. I love it. There you go. I love it. We can compromise on a 4 or 5. No, 6 is awesome. I love it. Keep building yourself up, Mandy. You've been doing great things. We're complimenting you here because we mean it. We see what you're doing, and you tell us on here, and you sent us your songs. Keep pushing through. Mr. Gavin Kerr, I am ready for trivia. Who's gonna kiss Brett? Who's gonna kiss Brett?
How many states border Ohio? Is it A, 3, B, 5, C, 6, or D, 4? How many states border Ohio? Is it A, 3, B, 5, C, 6, or D, 4?
Oop, hold on. I didn't hit my. I typed my answer, but
you ready?
Ready? So we got 5. We got 5. We got 3. We got 3. We got 5. We got 6. We got 3.
The answer is B, 5.
Can you name the 5?
I can. Let's see. Michigan, Indiana, Kentucky, West Virginia, and Pennsylvania.
New York touches Ohio, just so we know. Technically,
no, it doesn't.
Oh God, I'm gonna pull this up now. Give me a second. Go ahead, get your next question while I prove you wrong.
I've driven to New York several times. I'm positive it does not touch Ohio.
Oh, that's right. Erie, PA is right in the middle. It blocks it. It's like this. It's like this much of Pennsylvania. It's like not even 30 miles. It blocks Ohio and New York. You're correct. You're correct.
Yep. You sure you don't want to duck go it?
Well played. Well played. All right, go ahead.
All right. How many?
Who's winning? Wait. Who's winning? Jessica's got a point. Jessica's got a point. Brett has a point. Brian has a point. Perfect. All right. I'm ready. I've got 0.
This topic is Ohio, by the way. That's the page I landed on. So some of us have an advantage, I thought, but some of us don't. How many what is Ohio State's gemstone? Is it A, flint, B, ruby, C, opal, or D, amber? What is Ohio's state gemstone? Is it A?
What is the state? Wait, what is the state of Ohio's gemstone?
Yes. Is it A, flint, B, ruby, C, opal, or D, amber?
Man, I feel like I don't know my state. Brett Gordon says E, me, meaning Brandon. Sherry McQueen says C. Mandy Atterbury says D. Brian Tracy says A. Beyond Moving Pictures says C. I love that she's playing now. Talk to me, buddy. What is it?
What's your answer? Was it D? Your answer was D. All right.
D.
Gotcha. Well, the answer is A, flint.
Really? So the only one that got that right was Brian Tracy.
Yes.
Did he get the first one right? I forget. He did. Brian Tracy's winning right now. 2-0. Oh, B is for bullshit, I guess. LOL. Jessica Dugas coming in with the one-liners today. All right. Here we go. If Brian gets this one, he wins, and he gets to kiss Brett Gordon on the lips as a prize. I hope we are all excited for this. Curses. I love it. All right, Gavin, give me a good one. Give me a good one.
I'm going to switch it up on you guys.
Do it.
This category is the movie Elf.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, Brian Tracy's already looking on. He's like, all right, I get to kiss this guy. He's ready. He even has Elf playing in the background, probably.
What is Santa Claus doing while baby Buddy is crawling into the toy sack at the orphanage? Is it A, drinking milk, B, putting presents under the tree, C, eating a candy cane, or D, eating a cookie?
Ooh.
What is Santa Claus doing while baby Buddy was crawling into the toy sack at the orphanage? Is he A, drinking milk, B, putting presents under the tree, C, eating a candy cane, or D, eating a cookie?
Beyond moving pictures says D. Delight Cafe says D, which is me. Mandy Atterbury says A. Brian
Tracy's face. So his face says, "Oh shit."
Yep. Brian Tracy says D. Sherry McQueen says D. The Breakthrough Project says A. Ooh, this is even. Joe, do you have a guess? I see you in the backstage. He's going to write his. All right, Gavin, go ahead before Joe answers. Oh, Joe answered. Joe says D as well.
Says D.
Brett is like -5 points.
The answer is D, eating a cookie.
Do you know what that means?
Do we have a tiebreaker?
No, it means Brian Tracy wins hands down 3-0. And he gets to actually make out with Mr. Brett Gordon, who is preparing himself right now. Pucker up, Brett. Love you, Brian. Aww. I love it. I love it.
Isn't that
Very
sweet?
well done. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is Wednesday. I have my workout clothes on. Whew! I've even got, you ready for this? We have you guys set up to help us today. Joe is going to be joining us, and during the workout, when you hear me getting aggravated, annoyed, and mad, know that in my heart, I'm saying my F word for the day, and in it, it is saying, fuck Joe. Why? Because he's going to push me harder. But, cuddle time with Brett. I'm sorry, that just had me going. So, we actually have a bunch of good things going on. You're putting your man card in jeopardy, Brian. Is he? I don't know. I think he's leaning into his comfortable side and just saying, look, I'll do what I need to do and take one for the team.
Let me say something really quick. There's nothing, and this isn't my original words. I can't remember the name of the comedian who said it, but damn it, I'm going to plagiarize the hell out of it really quick. There is nothing more manly than a man being with another man. All right, straight guys are like, I want a woman. They're soft, gentle, feminine. And then gay men are like, I want a man with a big bushy beard and big strong muscles, rough and aggressive.
I'm gonna let
nothing more manly.
I'm gonna just do this.
Goodbye. So we're gonna go into we're gonna have this strong, bearded, manly man work us out today. Are you ready, Joe? Are you ready, Brandon?
I am ready. You ready, Joe? I did this just for you. Okay? You ready, guys? Hold on. Let's do this. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, please do not forget to know that fuck Joe.
I'm going to be honest. I thought you made me my own intro, and I got really excited.
I did too.
I honestly do
I'm
have
gonna grab my
something I'm
earbud
working
really
on.
quick.
Like, I did this just for you, and then I seen the button, and I'm like, this is a Fuck Joe intro? Do I get it finally?
No, I'm working on your Fuck Joe intro. I had something in the works, but it wasn't ready in time. I had to finish some other stuff.
You need to have the thing that pops up that says TVMA in the intro.
I love it. Joe, I actually have something for you. You ready?
Is it the front pocket?
A front pocket?
It's South Park thing. Go ahead.
Okay, it did. That's why I'm bald. So Joe sends us all these workouts, and he wants to be able to make it easy while explaining what it does for everybody. So today, Brett Gordon is going to be helping, so I don't have to click too many buttons, and we're going to have the screen show what's going on there, and then I'm hearing an echo. Scroll what's going on, and then ready, boom. On the bottom, it just starts scrolling. And that way you get to know what we're doing, why we're doing it, and what it's going to benefit. And Joe is going to work the hell out of us. So
I'm going to do the timer today.
You can do the timer today. Your intro is a dill pickle with sunglasses that says, "Cool Dill." I love it. Joe,
Ryan,
that's
you go
it.
back to not attending.
Wow. Joe, that's it. I'm making you something special.
What?
LOL. Jessica Dugas.
You.
Dude, Jessica Dugas is going to make you an intro.
I seen her video she made for you. That was good, so I know it's going to be good.
Actually, do you want to see something really cool, guys? I'm going to give Jessica Dugas a thing while I move my camera and play what she just made for us, and then we're going to dive into the workout, okay? Here is Jessica Dugas's intro video that she's made to help Delight with marketing because she's absolutely effing amazing.
Hi, my name is Brandon, and over the past year, the Delight Cafe team and I have traveled across the U.S., researching this rapidly growing industry of CBD products. What we have found throughout the industry were products that were inconsistent in dosage and used ingredients that weren't even lab tested. Products with chalky textures, bitter aftertaste, and worst of all, confusion among the CBD consumers. That's why we created Delight Cafe. A 15 milligram, lab tested, all natural, water soluble hemp CBD powder pack. It's odorless, colorless, and tasteless. Add it to your favorite drink of choice, wherever, whenever, on the go. Quickly find your calm, your balance, and your delight when you need it most.
I'm so proud of that. Just so we're clear. All right, I'm ready.
So you guys both know what we're starting with. Brandon, you have your weights with you, right?
No.
Okay. You won't need them until after warm up. Okay, cool.
All right, so Brett is going to bring them up on the screen so everybody sees what we're doing and how we're doing it. And that way, if you want to join in, please do. All right, here we go. Gavin, you ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
2 sets of burpees. I'll start the timer. You guys ready?
If you can't see me, it's just because I have the camera angled so you can see when I do the curls. Just tell me and I'll move stuff.
That's so Brandon could just lay there and just like kind of chill for a couple seconds and then pop up.
He's going to be there doing this. He's going to go.
Yep.
What am I doing?
You're doing your cheating burpees. Yeah.
He's just going to sit there, maybe like play a phone game for 30 seconds, pop back up.
Right. Guys, that was hot. Ready. Here we go.
Like misty spray water on his face.
Go.
All right, go. 30 seconds. What I really need to do is get like a major pain voiceover while you guys are working out because that makes me really happy.
Tell me.
Well, I mean, that movie's really not ethical anymore, but it's fantastic.
Tell me.
And stop. All right, we'll do a little bit of a break. Not too long of one because I made your workout list a little shorter just so we have time to take breaks and relax. All right, we're going to start in about 5 seconds after Gavin. Never mind. Gavin, you good?
Yeah, I got a dog yelling.
Dog just wants to work out. They love being around their humans when they work out. It's weird.
Yeah.
Brandon, ready?
I was putting your thing on the bottom. I asked Brett to.
Oh, Brett's doing it. He's got it.
I did that.
Oh, never mind. Good job, Brandon.
Thank you, Brett.
All right, and go. Another round of burpees. Brandon, if your hand goes through the ceiling, I will laugh hysterically.
I'm just laughing it.
I know, but if you juggernauted it through the ceiling. I also enjoy that Gavin's getting attacked. And stop. All right, we'll do a 30-second break for both you gentlemen, and then we're going to do 2 sets of running in place.
Go.
Brandon is taking a break.
How you doing?
Did you guys orchestrate that where Brett's like trying to slack on helping so you can take a break and hit the buttons?
Maybe.
Because I know Brett's right there. He's not going to mess that up. He's right on it. All right, you're running in place in like 3 seconds, Brandon. And go.
Awesome.
Brandon, you don't have to be the Flash if you don't want. Just bring your knees up. You don't have to do high knees. Just run in place. You don't have to bring them that high. Just slightly up. Hey, if you want to do the football drill, you're all go ahead. There you go. Jessica, mistakes were made. And stop. 30-second rest period, and then we're going to go back to 30 seconds, guys.
Awesome.
While I drink my horrible tasting smoothie.
What's in it?
Yeah, what's in your smoothie, Joe?
I'll tell you after the workout.
Heard that.
I'll go over every single ingredient and why it tastes not good today.
Hold up.
All right, again in 5 seconds. Hold on, we'll wait for Gavin.
I'm right here.
All right, and go. Yeah, but I know you can go a little faster. Don't let B just outdo you. Come on. I love his dogs. Just like, what are you doing? You're right, Jessica?
On your left, Brandon.
Brandon, I'll take the drink for you. Like Jessica
Wait,
said
what?
to do it.
Huh?
No, just taking drinks for you and stop.
I said on your left as I passed you.
You didn't pass me.
Well, good news is you guys are done with the kind of cardiovascular part of the workout. We're going to go into the weights, so that will be a little easier. Brandon, would you like to take some H2O break real quick?
I already did.
Okay. You don't have the big water bottle today? Oh, what is that?
It's a cup that I've been reusing. It's plastic.
Uh-huh.
All right. Yep, that's my favorite.
All right, we're going to be doing hammer curls. We're only doing 2 sets of everything today, guys, just to keep it within the 30 minutes nice and easy. So it will be 10 each arm.
All right.
Hammer curls. So you're going to do your other grip. Switch your grips like this. Gavin?
This?
Gavin.
Yep.
Yep.
And curl up like a hammer,
Cool.
like you're putting out a hammer. Yeah, there you go.
Joe, why do I not want to move my elbows or rock?
You don't want to rock because it's not a back exercise. It's a bicep exercise. So what you'll see generally men or women do when it's too heavy is they'll start to utilize their back to kind of cheat. On the last 1 or 2 reps, that's not really a bad thing, but you don't want to risk injury. I'm just making sure Gavin's all right because I know you know how to do these ones. Just 10 each arm, then you guys could take a break. Breathing good, feeling good?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Here you go. Well, Brandon, since you have so much extra energy, why don't we just start right back up?
Okay. Somebody talk shit to me or
Come
something.
on, Gavin, you got to keep your core tight. Brandon, you're doing good. They can't. I mean, they could try. Just it probably might be bottom bunk material.
So that would be jokes I like.
Oh, yeah. Well, not necessarily that you like that. You say often. Said someone talked shit. Come on, Gavin. We're going to make you strong. Let's get those biceps going. Brandon's like, this is why I don't bring out the big boys. One more. There you go. Good job,
If you're
guys.
doing this at home, make a comment. Let me know.
Take a little bit of a break.
I'm
Next
good.
one's real simple, gentlemen. Just standard push-up. So Brandon, you better
Awesome.
move your camera so I can make sure you're doing them right.
Nope.
Okay, fine. Nope.
How many?
Just 2 sets of 10. We're just going to keep everything 2 sets of 10 nice and simple. That way it's less confusing for you guys. I'm waiting for your headset to pop off. I got Gavin breathing today, man. There we go.
Yeah, feels good. This
All
was
right, so
actually this is the first week that I went to the actual gym, in probably months. So right now my chest and my back are very tight, so I'm feeling all this. It's great.
Good. Brandon, what about you? Did you work out yesterday like you told me you're going to?
Yeah. That's why I'm not as out of breath as Gavin.
He did some remote curls.
I like
Yeah.
the child pose while you're saying it.
Yeah.
All right, 10 push-ups, go.
1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know anymore.
8, 9 days.
There you go.
Didn't know I knew that, did you, Brandon?
I knew it. I just wanted to see if somebody would say it.
Well, I got you. Okay. Last part of the weight section, gentlemen, we're going to hit the shoulders, which we're going to hit the front delt, which Brett will put on the bottom, I hope, and I very kindly appreciate. We're going to do a front shoulder raise.
All right.
Do I need my weights?
Yes, sir, you do. So
Yeah.
you can stand back up, or you can do them on your knees. I recommend standing up and keeping your core tight. That way you're not hurting your back and pinching and being on your knees.
Okay. I hear you. What am I doing?
Front shoulder raise.
Let me fix my camera.
You guys take a little break. It's all right. We got time. Ready,
No
gentlemen?
breaks, only death. Yep.
Go ahead. There you go, Brandon. You're doing it right. Gavin, 1 arm at a time.
Or that.
1 arm at a time, 10 each arm. So, Gavin, how come you don't use the big boy weights for this one? I'm just curious.
Because the big boy weights are 30 pounds, and these in my hand are 10
I was
pounds.
curious of the weight. That's why I asked.
Yeah.
30.
Because while I can curl 30 pounds just fine. I can't do this exercise with it.
Yep. Try to keep your arm a little straight again, but not completely locked.
Okay.
Yep. 1 at a time. There you go. Yeah. No. 30 pounds with the front shoulder raise as well.
Yeah.
That's a lot of
So
weight.
I'm doing 10 right now.
Yep. I'm doing 25.
That's nice.
You
look like you're having fun.
I am.
Good job, B.
I feel buffer. The 6-pack abs come next.
Yeah.
In a way, that is what's next.
I know. That's why I said it.
You guys ready? Getting out here, set out and getting the abs? Because Brandon doesn't do abs.
It's too early.
Like Darth Vader.
He sounds like a COVID breathalyzer.
All right, let's go, guys. Last set. Come on.
Here we go.
Long enough break. Trying to keep up with the comments.
Go ahead, read them out loud. I can't see them.
No new ones as of yet, but I will definitely read them out loud for you if they come in. Just 10 each arm. Not too bad, gentlemen. Gavin's training to replace Tom Holland. He's got some big shoes to fill. He's going to work on it. Six-pack
there's actually a Spider-Man in a different universe called Spider-Punk, and I think that I'd be fantastic for that role.
There you go. So you got to go for that one.
Yes.
I'm ready.
You're already ready to do the abs?
Yep.
All right. So you guys are going to start. I will tell you both workouts, and I hope that you look them up, which is why I sent the email to you guys. Seated Russian twists. You could do them with weights or without if you want. With weights is going to make it more difficult, but they're still very beneficial without weights. So I gave you guys the options.
Ready?
Are you guys ready?
Yep.
All right, go ahead. 30 seconds, Brandon. Go.
1, 2.
Brandon, lean up. Come on. I know you know how to do these. Lean your back a little bit, Brandon. Keep your core tight. There you go. Slow down a little bit. Breathe. There you go. Yeah, but if possible, try to keep your legs staying in one position.
Okay.
You said 10.
Yep.
10?
Yeah. No, 30 seconds. You're good, though, B. I'm going to stop Gavin right now.
Good.
Yeah, there's 2 versions. One where you do your legs with, but you want to do opposite direction, which is a really advanced version. And then the standard, you just want to keep your legs the best you can. Keep them to where they don't move. That way you're engaging your core and making your core do the work instead of gaining momentum.
Gotcha.
All right. You guys ready for the last set of Russian twists?
Yes.
All right. We're going to start in 5 seconds. I will tell you guys to go, so get ready. And go. Lean back just a little bit, B. There you go. Keep that core tight the entire time you guys do it. You want to kind of do elbow to the ground. So yep, there you go. Like that. Perfect. Good form.
Oh, so it's not a row?
Yeah, 5 more seconds. And stop. How we feeling, gentlemen?
Fantastic.
What, Brandon? I heard amazing and fantastic. Is that what you said?
Yep, that's good enough.
Hey, Mandy said let's do the twist.
Come on, baby. Let's do
Which
the
is actually a really
twist.
creative comment. I like that.
Yeah.
All right, last exercise, and then we could just relax and BS for like 5 minutes, is seated
Awesome.
in and outs. Okay, so no weights on this one.
I love In-N-Out Burger.
Oh, that's just rude.
You said In and Out.
In and outs.
Yeah, it comes in and it goes out.
So you guys want to do them for a minute straight? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, make sure I know I'm doing it right.
I will. You ready to go?
Sure.
Did you look it up like I asked you guys?
Yeah.
Just because I don't have a lot of space behind me. Otherwise, I'd happily do all these with you.
Okay.
I did not, in all honesty.
Okay, well, look at Brandon. Brandon, just do like
Cool.
2 or 3 real quick as an example, please. Yeah, that's actually
Okay,
good.
so they're
And
like
you can- if you
extreme
want, you
crunches.
can put your hands next to you, palms flat on the ground for a little stability.
Cool. Just
Yep. So, Gavin, go ahead. I'm going to cut 5 seconds off Brandon's time.
go.
Thank you, Pike, then. B, just pace yourself. There you go. Take a quick break if you need to.
I'm just more amazed by how much sweat I have on my pants.
Yep. And Gavin, you guys don't have to go all the way down. You could go like right there. Yep. You want to keep that core tight. Right there.
Yep,
Go ahead.
Perfect.
Brandon,
I'm
you
glad.
can stay done to the next set. Gavin's got 4 more seconds.
Okay.
There you go. And stop. I wish I was there to poke Brandon.
What Mandy asked? How am I not cream cracked?
Yeah.
What the hell does that mean?
I'm going to be honest. I am not 100% sure on that one.
Huh.
I'm more into the fuck Joe's position in the exercise session. I like Bob's reply. All right, guys. Last one. Long enough break. Let's get it, and then you guys can take some water and grab some food. Go ahead, Brandon. Gavin's already on it. Let's go.
Joe, you're going to talk about the H after this. What tonight's bringing?
Yeah, I'm only scheduled till 11. I got to fly. Just so you are aware, I read all of that the day of, so it's fresh. So I don't know what the H is bringing. Besides positivity and calm, balance, and delight, we bring that every Wednesday.
Every day.
Well, yeah, actually every day, except maybe on Sundays a little grouchy. All right, you're all done. Good job, gentlemen.
Oh yeah.
See, Gavin, I think you should just train to be like the next Venom. I don't even think I think you should just bypass Spider-Man as entirely.
Yeah. You think if I bet if I started now, I could be when they reboot and have to recast Tom Hardy.
Yeah, I mean
Let's
that's
start
those are some
training
big
now.
shoes. That's one of my favorite actors, but I mean, you could
Oh, yeah, no, he's phenomenal.
you could be a villain in Venom, or like like sidekick something. I would go for
That'd be
Venom
sweet.
series.
That'd be badass, man.
And Brandon, to answer what is in my smoothie, it is a scoop of super greens mix, a scoop of a turmeric mix, straight egg whites, so liquid egg whites, 2 scoops of Greek yogurt, all fat, no sugar, or all the non-fat, no sugar, and whole pineapples. But the problem is I put too much of the pineapple juice from the pineapples in it, and so there's a lot of pineapple and like tangerine strong flavors, a little bitter.
Yeah. Actually, somebody who I would really like to be is Aqualad, Aquaman's son. Just because when my hair is down and like properly done and curly, and I have my facial hair too.
Brandon done good.
I slightly resemble Jason Momoa, like when I have my goatee and stuff.
Brandon's face is like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I can be Wonder Lad.
Yeah, I wonder what you're talking about.
Gavin, Mandy said in English rhyming slang, it's for tired.
How much
That's the
bourbon
thing, Mandy.
do you...
I'm always tired.
0. I do not drink at all. No alcohol for this guy.
He's working, Brian Tracy. He can't check his messenger now. Joe, you have to take the show for a minute. I can't breathe.
Yeah,
I'll check it when I'm done, Brian.
You can't breathe. I mean, I'm enjoying the chat. Aqualad would be water boy. That's a creative one. I like that.
Yeah.
So who do you guys got coming on in 8 minutes? Gavin?
Gavin?
Yeah.
We have... Let me get this up because you just like made me breathe. We have John Ayers. He's the founder and director of the First Things Foundation, a nonprofit that sends volunteers into immerse long-term in some of the world's forgotten places. In order to uncover beautiful projects worth facilitating. Heers has worked overseas as a social entrepreneur and foreign project manager in Georgia, Guatemala, Sierra Leone, Haiti, Ethiopia, and Mali. His work as an educator includes 8 years teaching in Harlem and the South Bronx, 2 years in Naples, Florida, where he co-created the Seacrest High School. I wonder if Ryan went there. Heers is also the host of the podcast, Why Are We Talking About Rabbits? I'm already intrigued, which explores commentary culture through the lens of history, philosophy, and foreign cultures. I absolutely am ecstatic for this one because
he's going to have a lot of good stories.
He is going to have a lot of good stories. Being able to, don't make me come over there. Why am I getting threatened by our viewers today? They're going to come beat me up, Joe.
Work out harder.
He's already on his way to Ohio.
Is he?
I thought he was.
I don't know. I'm still catching my breath.
Oh. You got to be quicker than that.
I have a hoodie on. You were in a Spider-Man.
Brandon can sing first.
What?
Brandon can sing first, but he loves karaoke. It's his favorite thing in the entire world.
Yeah, so I've been doing karaoke for months now, like hosting it. And Brandon has came one time out of like the 4 times he said he would come, and then he doesn't even sing when he does finally show up.
Yeah.
I think we need to get him singing and ready to go.
No.
Like, I think he needs to come to karaoke. I do 3 shows this week, dude.
Gavin, if you ever want to hear Brandon sing, just put on some good alt punk in the car, and he has to be in the right mood. And that is the only probably time you will hear him sing.
I've gotten him to sing with me when I sing my sea shanties by him. He'll start to sing the chorus.
Yeah. Brandon's like me. I don't do karaoke ever. I'll like go. And I won't make fun of people because, like, I know they're just having fun, so I don't make any judgment, but it's not for me.
I am sweaty.
Well, you wore a hoodie again, sir.
I did it on purpose. I wanted to work out today.
Good. Yeah, I mean, I'll have my hoodie on. I was actually kind of bummed. They put the air on in the gym that it was, like, broke for a week, so it was, like, 100 degrees in there, and I would work out my hoodie on still, and it felt great.
Nice.
And now
they just get done completely soaking wet.
Yep. Feels good.
Now
they have the AC on, so.
I've always wanted to get one of those shirts where it's like you're not done yet until it's completely soaked in sweat, and then it has a new message. I always thought
Yep.
those were kind of cool and motivational.
Yeah, no, those are really cool. I use a sweat stick, so I'll put that on like my abs and my arm, and then put my hoodie
What-
on, and then I'll run for like a mile as a warm up. Like generally when
What
I'm
is a
running and doing
sweat stick?
cardio, it just makes your body sweat more and heat up.
Interesting. It creates like a layer of just whatever the material is. That way,
Pretty much, it's just a fancy term for clogging your pores. You're going to sweat more.
yeah.
It's
Interesting.
called the one I do is called Sweet Sweat. You can get it right on Amazon. I know there's a couple other tricks, like some like old school fighters used to use just like Vaseline and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's like other tricks, but it's like $30. Lasts me a long time.
Is that more beneficial for people who are trying to lose weight? Then I assume.
No, I mean it's that's one. It's kind of like a pre-workout, so it's 100% personal preference. Hold on, alt punk shanty and onesies. It's all great. So a lot of people use it on their abs and stomach area just because those fatty areas are the hardest to keep like hot and the temperature up. So it's said to burn fat more, but it's definitely nice to just kind of, I don't know. For me, it's like harder to get a sweat than some other people, even with a hoodie. So like I like it to make sure I get a good sweat. And then I'll use it for my abs to keep my like core tight and like warm while I'm working out. But it's really a personal preference.
Just say how effective would that be on like just your abs? Because don't you lose fat evenly throughout your body?
Yes and no. So people normally you get like the sweat belt too. So you put it on and then you keep the belt and it keeps like all that in there really high. I mean, it works good. I used to use it. Like I use that more in the winter than I do the summer. But you take that belt off and it literally looks like you wring out a towel. It's kind of gross and also like very rewarding because you know you earned it. So generally middle stomach fat's the hardest fat to break up and actually burn. That's why like you see so many people struggle with that. That's why you see them come out with all these fast pills and workouts to, get you to lose this weight. It's just a hard target area. And that includes for fit people, for people that just get into the gym, and for people that need, they want to go lose weight. It's just a very hard target area. And the only way to really lose it's going to be hard work. You can try all the tricks and tools, but they're not sustainable.
Yeah. And this is why I'm trying to like keep on top of everything now while I'm so young. Because I keep hearing like all these horror stories, like, oh, your metabolism's going to stop eventually. And I've always like had like a pretty flat stomach, and I'd like to try to keep it that way.
I mean, I think that's dependent to person. I mean, I had a buddy that was like that when he grew up. He could eat anything he wanted all week long and never gain a pound. He's 35 and still the exact same way. And then I had another buddy that was the same as him. And as soon as he turned 30, that went to crap and he had to start eating healthy. So it's really genetic dependent. I think everybody should be a little conscious of what you put in your body, regardless of your goals. Like you should at least take care of the inside of your body if you're not worried about like the cosmetic side.
Definitely.
Well, gentlemen, I will see you in about 30 minutes when I'm at the gym doing cardio so I could get a little taste of the guest and how you guys are doing. And fuck you both. Have a great day. Good job. I have to harden up.
You too, Joe. Have a great day. So thanks for the workout, man. Appreciate it.
I'll see you guys in about 30 minutes. Later.
Whew. How you feeling, Brandon? You're tired.
Sweaty.
Wake up. We still got an hour left, baby.
I just mean I'm out of breath. I have the windows open. I have the fan on me. I feel the sweat dripping down me. I'm proud of my workout.
I should actually open the windows as well because this is a small room and it smells like Gavin's sweat, which is not a good cologne.
So our guest today, Mr. John Ayers, I hope I'm not pronouncing his last name wrong. I have a feeling I am. I'm going to look at his face in the background when I say it.
I think it's a good guess, but I think it might be Heers.
I see. I would. Oh, he said yes. He's pointing at you.
I got a thing for last names, man.
You do. That's why you should be reading the intros and not me.
I hate reading in public.
So do I. I just do it because we have to. He's a podcaster, and I'm actually really intrigued by why are we talking about rabbits? Like, what do you think that means, Gavin, before we bring him in? That way he teaches us something new right off the bat.
I'm not sure, but I have a rabbit that I've been trying to get rid of for months now. It was my little brother's pet rabbit, and he didn't want it anymore, and I've been trying to give this damn thing away, and every person who moves into this house wants to take care of the rabbit just before I finally give it away. So maybe he's got an answer for that. I voted for eating it, but my mother said that was inappropriate. Like,
It's not. And then Brett says rabbit soup. Of course he does.
yeah.
I have to
Well, it
say,
was my little brother's emotional support rabbit, so I probably shouldn't eat that. There's probably some bad juju there.
yeah, you'd get all his emotions.
Yeah.
All I know is, why are we talking about rabbits? Hello, Mr. John Hare.
How you doing?
You guys,
Heers.
why did F. Joe leave? I wanted to talk to F. Joe. I need ab work, bro. Damn
Joe
it.
comes on Joe's going to be on tonight on the other show. We have a show called The H. It's an honest conversation about health, hemp, and happiness.
Nice.
And Joe comes on, and his whole thing, the reason his name is F. Joe is nobody wants to work out. So when you do that workout that you don't want to work out, in your head, you're saying, fuck this, right? Now you could say F. Joe and get that workout in. And that's what we do.
Count me in.
So we're designing T-shirts that say F. Joe across the top, but when you sweat, his bald head and beard will show up so you know when you're done. He doesn't know this yet.
Well, I signed on and I saw, like, I don't know, Spider-Man doing sit-ups, and I got nervous about if I was on the right show. But I think I'm on the right show. I love it. No, I checked you guys out. I checked you guys out long before. I was on with Sonny way back when you got. I think you guys know Sonny.
Yeah. All right, good shit, man.
We did a show with him back in the day, and he's got a show he's doing now, and we kept going in a different direction. That way, everybody brings good vibes all over the place.
Yeah,
you
man,
know?
we need it. I like your vibes a lot. But yeah,
Thank you.
tell F. Joe I'm on. I went away for the weekend. I had hit ketosis. I like keto diet. It's hard as hell, but I hit it, and I was feeling good. And then people started to feed me, and then I went off. And now I'm trying to get back on. I'm 55, y'all. This is not like, I don't get to talk about flat stomachs anymore. Gavin, you're effed. It will happen to you. It will slow down.
I'm trying to prevent it, man. Like I'm really working hard. I'll go through phases where I'll be so good about going to the gym for like 3 months, and like I'll like see like real results, and then something will happen in life. Like I had a family member pass away one time, or I had like a job change, or COVID happened, and I just stop for like a couple months and lose all that progress. Yeah, and then I get unmotivated, and then one day I just wake up and I'm like, no, get back to the gym. What are you doing? You're gonna be fat and die one day if you don't. Like, it's so dramatic in my head.
I feel like that's what you guys are doing on some level, is reminding us to keep going. I like your show that way. It's kind of
that's what we're trying to do. Just bring that positivity. Like, not everybody wants to work out. So when Joe started working me out 2 years ago, and I met him through a friend, he was such a pain in the ass. And I knew that's what I needed in my life to keep me going.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's why I was like, Joe, I want you on the show every Wednesday, middle of the week. Help us get through hump day, hemp day. Everybody likes to hump. Get us in the hump body, you know, and hemp will help us stay calm. So that's why we do that, you know. I love it. So I have so many questions. I love how you've traveled. I love how you've been all over, but I have to, you heard me say, I'm going to ask the first question.
Sure.
Why are we talking about rabbits?
Tell us about your podcast. So that comes out of our work. So the podcast is a type of it's like an evolutionary concept. It evolved through our work overseas. So long story short, our work involves like 2 years long-term immersion service. So when you come to First Things, our nonprofit, it's a little like private Peace Corps. So what happens is you get embedded, or immersed is the better word. You live simply. You live in mud huts like Jake, Daniel in West Africa. They live simply in Guatemala. We're in Appalachia. And the whole concept is you go through the ringer. You go from what you're used to what you're not used to. And so what happens is all the, I don't know if my Instagram's up to date. All that stuff burns away. All those questions that seem important when you leave to go do our work, what happens is they become less important, right? Mm-hmm. So those are the rabbits. What I've learned, because I've lived in a lot of crazy places without electricity for almost 6 years of my life, no electricity in various parts of the world. And what I learned is is the things you think are important aren't. And the things you haven't thought about much, or that lurk within you, the ideas that are deep and profound, the spiritual or philosophical ideas that you don't usually want to pick up and turn around and look at, those ideas become essential to your existence. And so what happened is I came back, we started talking, we put together this nonprofit, and I saw people talking about rabbits. So what are rabbits? They're ideas that boop, 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 and they tend to be moved around on the internet. They're like, oh my God, I can't believe he didn't get a shot. He didn't get a shot. And then everyone's sort of trashing each other on the internet, or everyone's talking. It's really a form of gossip, right? And I get it. I have fun with it. Don't get me wrong. We have all these internet, interface. We do Facebook.
Yeah,
we do
trending. Things are trending for a reason.
Yeah, but they trend for reasons that tend to do with our passions. And don't hear passion's good, hear passion's bad. Things that set us off, things that attract us when maybe we shouldn't be attracted to them. And those are the rabbits. And the reason they're rabbits is they quickly reproduce. They go from one idea to another, but they're not actually deep and profound ideas. And so what we try to do on Watar, Why Are We Talking About Rabbits, is take those ideas, catch them, and then dig down on them. So we'll talk about what is wine, for example. And then you start to get into wine as a sort of, it's like a revelatory, or like when you drink wine, even though you're not drunk, you're entering into something much deeper than simply a grape that's aged. You're entering into a tradition. So what does that mean? Or for instance, another thing we talk about, time. What is time? Oh, I'm so behind in time. But actually, what is time? If there's no death, there's no time, right? Because if you don't die, then you're never behind. And so you start to take apart these simple ideas. Like here's one. What does it mean to be pretty? And then everyone's like, Instagram. But in reality, what are you actually trying to become? So we try to take that apart, but non-judgmentally. We're not trying to tell anybody how to live, but let's dig down on ideas rather than simply spread more and more sort of vacuous ideas. That's one of our ideas. That's the podcast.
So
that's phenomenal.
I see EP 47. Is that Ephesians 47 behind you?
Oh, where is it? Oh, you know what that is? That's episode 47. I just did episode 47.
I'm like, he's traveled all over the world. He's traveled all over the world. There must be something with what EP 47 is.
Gosh, see how stupid I am? I'm bad at all this. I just didn't erase that part.
That's okay. I have
no deep meaning.
All of my random, my unicorn over here that's a police officer. Don't worry, leave him in the background and make it you. I love it. So on your travels, you've seen, I'm assuming we're going to go with, many rabbits and learned through many things. Yeah. What would you say is one of your locations? Because you've been to Haiti, you've been all over. You were in Harlem, as it said.
Yeah.
What would be one of your rabbits, as you say, that you learned a lesson from on your journeys?
So probably the thing that pops up again and again. So I can get into some good stories too, because I have some fun ones.
Do it. Yeah, we will always come up with questions on the spot. Don't worry about that.
Okay. All right. Here's one. So a fundamental, even though it's going to seem really important, a fundamental rabbit is the notion of something tasting good. So here's what I mean. You'd be really surprised what you can eat and learn to enjoy. But when we have so much stuff like we do in America, we begin to forget that food is actually energy. It's just fuel. And if you see it, so I'll give you here's one. I lived in Mali, in that's West Africa, and this village was amazing, but no electricity or anything. And in 2 years, at lunchtime, now I wasn't there every day for 2 years, but in every single day I was there, the same exact meal, sanyo kini, was served. So it's ground millet with a green sauce poured on top, eaten with your hands. And for just about 2 years, my village served the same meal for 2 years. I never saw them serve anything else. Now you start to think, oh my God, my life is going to come apart, but it didn't. It never came apart. What you start to realize is they saw food as fuel.
Yeah.
And where did they get all the flavor of life from then? But that was in the community. And you started to realize the richness of the community served as a type of salt for the food. We tend
Now,
to.
did you notice any nutritional sort of like depletion because of eating the same thing over and over again?
Awesome. So then you ask, this was a major problem, right? This is actually something you saw. This is this distended bellies, right? So you'd see kids, they look, their gases is what the problem is they're bloated because they've overdone one macro for another. And so that doesn't mean that the food itself, because of its taste, is a problem. It means that the problem is in the nutrition, right? And so you would see villages that were better at this. They would supplement their dinners or supplement their breakfasts with various, often meat. But I started to realize that you could actually live without the things you thought you could live, going down your throat and tasting good. Now, does it take away some of the spice of life? Not really. These were good people that took care of me and that showed me how to live. I was in Peace Corps in this particular edition of my life overseas. And I learned a great deal from the simplicity of food. Now, I'll be honest, I didn't like it. Here's what happened one night, Brandon. So there's this festival that goes on in a village down the road from me. The village is called Golo. Golo was a really unique village. Okay. It was, first of all, it was pagan. So you have to know West Africa. West Africa is the northern West Africa, Mali, the Sahel is Islamic. So Islam came there in the 1200s. And so most people have lived a traditional Muslim life, but in pockets, sort of like if you go up in the hills of Appalachia where we work, you find people who they're Christian, but they're practicing some interesting Christianity. So some really old school Christianity, maybe handling snakes. When you go and travel around in West Africa, you find little pockets, little villages that are really into the ancient Christian African religions before Islam. So you're going back thousands of years. And so this village was famous for its gangu, for the priests who sacrificed to the ancient African gods of West Africa. And so they had a festival. Now, I didn't fully understand this. And again, remember, I'm trying to find out about the world that I live in. I'm trying to go about my life, learn the local language, which I did, Bambara. And I go down to this village and they're having this feast, I thought. And the feast was to supplement like the diet, but it's not really for that. It's to celebrate the fact that all these bats, I'm talking hundreds of thousands of bats, probably millions, have come to roost along the cliffs of the village of Golo. Now, I don't really get this at the time, but I go to the village, there's dancing, there's mask ceremonies, there's a griot, it's a fun time. And then at night we got to feast on the bats, but I didn't know they were bats. So what had happened is during the day, all the bats hibernate, they'd sleep. So the kids in preparation, it's like Christmas. You got to think of it as like a celebration. You got to think of it as like everyone knows it's coming because it's happening in the fall. Mm-hmm. Everybody knows that this is when the bats come. So they prepare these mallets. They go and get wood from the bush, and then they create mallets, these long mallets, and then they go when the bats are sleeping, and they whack them out of the trees against the cliffs. So you'll see they'll hit the bats and they'll fly like baseballs, and then hit the cliffs, the stone, fall to the ground, and then all the women come pick them up. And then they dump them directly fresh into a big vat of oil. They fry them whole for about, I don't know, 3-4 minutes. Pop them out, throw them on your rice or on your millet, on your sanyo kini. And in the dark, you can't really tell. You just know there's some meat morsels there. And I was just popping those bad boys in my mouth. And so when I realized I'm eating bats, and it's a festival, I just keep eating the bats because I don't want to look like that guy. I'm already that guy, right? I'm a foreigner.
Yeah.
And so I continue to eat the bats. Now, what is that? Like, what's happening there? Well, this is a type of religious ceremony, right? It's a type of a way of celebrating and giving gratitude to something that's bigger than yourself. And I did it and I participated in it. And I'm telling you, that kind of thing is not a rabbit. When you start to eat bats and you have to think hard about what this is, it makes you just wonder about what you've been doing your whole life. So that's a really important one. So food is something that it's essential. It's not a rabbit, but the nature of food, the idea that I have to eat a certain food because that's what I love, you start to realize, you'd be surprised what people can eat. You'd be surprised.
So how long did it take you to realize what you were actually eating?
Later that night, because see, this was the first time I lived there for 2 of those celebrations. And so in the second year, I knew what was going on. For the first celebration, I didn't fully understand. So later in the night, as I was trying to sort through the language, I realized that I think these are bats because they kept telling stories about the bats. And I realized, but see, the problem is I thought it was like, so there's this other rodent. So here's another story. Do you guys want these stories? I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm writing questions to ask you off of these. Like he asked about the bat, but my question really quick, because it goes along the bat, is what was the weirdest thing they had you eat? And then you're like, oh, I thought it was this rodent. It was the bat?
The bat is the weirdest thing. I was bummed out about because, we hear about all these things that bats carry. This was back in the mid 90s. And I was like, I really don't want that. So here's the other thing. When you live this way, so that was Peace Corps. And then I also lived in the Georgian Republic when there was a civil war going on. I was blessed to be able to be in Haiti. So these experiences, they teach you so much, but there's a line you have to draw. So the guys we send, and when I say guys here, I mean men and women. And forgive me, I'm just old. But when folks go overseas and they plant themselves in these neighborhoods, there is a line you got to draw, right?
Yeah.
We really want you to become so enmeshed that you really get it and you live according to the local cultures. But I mean, there's a line. There's a line you got to draw. And so my line was kind of, I don't want to eat bats, but it was like too late.
Yeah.
So, but it was really interesting because they fry them the way they do. All the bones become ossified. Well, that's what bone is, but they become edible. You can just crunch them. So you can't tell if it's meat or what's going on, but there's this other animal. It's basically like a rodent. It's a rat, but it lives in the field. So it eats clean, and they ate those a lot. And I ate those quite a bit, and I thought it was some variation on that animal, but it was a bat. So
well, the interesting thing to me about all this is that you didn't realize what it was at first. And like, people always say like, oh, what's this taste like? Anytime they get a new meat, oh, what's this taste like? It tastes like chicken is the kind of thing. I'm thinking about how long they deep fried them for, which you said was like 3 to 4 minutes. So anything inside of it, like any kind of like bacteria or virus, should have been completely like annihilated for the most part. So when you're chewing on this thing, you're chewing on like a wing or like a body of something that you don't know what it is, and you're in the dark, so your eyes can't identify. Your brain, while it probably isn't chicken, your brain probably associates it with that automatically, and then you get grossed out after the fact. Is that what was like going through your head? You're like, oh, this, like you said, you thought it was that one rodent, so you're like, oh, it's something. It's not going to hurt me. I've already eaten it before.
So Gavin, you know what I'm thinking, because maybe I'm weird, is I like
weird.
Well, I just kept thinking my whole life is this, for better or worse. I don't want to offend. See, it was a party, and there's all these chiefs there, and there's all these important people. And when you're a foreigner, especially when they see you as a Westerner, in that for West Africans, that means white. I can tell you some interesting stories about Black folks that have gone over to Africa. It's a totally different experience. I married a Black woman from Harlem. That's part of my story. And I took her back, and we went together, Black and white couple, and spent about a month traveling around. That was a trip, because I spoke the language. And I had done the cultural work there. She's an American showing up just with brown skin. And that was a fascinating trip. I can tell you about that, but
I'd love to hear about that in a minute.
Yeah.
I think I'll just say this. Our experience at that dinner, and I'll close that concept up maybe, but when you're the white foreigner, man, the rules they change for you. And this is kind of where this is another deep issue that I learned about. So privilege. I'm not so hip on this concept as Americans understand it, but I think it's a real thing. I saw it happen to me. I got privilege, but other bad stuff happened to me because I was white as well. Things you would call prejudice. So both things are happening in those long 2.5 years. Well, now 3 years that I've spent in West Africa. My race entered in on a lot of different levels, for better and for worse. But I did see privilege. And in that dinner with those bats, I can't not eat them. So that was primarily going through my head, was eat, and that's kind of a rabbit concept again, like just eat it, chill, don't worry. So in terms of my wife and I going back, I tell you the number one thing I learned is it was intense watching my friends relate to my wife and here's the key, they didn't know what. So I'll give you, can I tell you the story? Because it's dear to my heart. So if you drive down the coast of in Mali's in the center, there's no ocean. But if you look at the geography of Africa, basically you have a long coastline called the Gold Coast and sometimes called the Slave Coast. And so why is it called the Slave Coast? Because up and down that West African shoreline are these slave castles, built mostly by the Portuguese, some by the English. So you can roll up on them today. The three of us could go. And they're huge edifices that were mainly holding stations for Africans brought into slavery by other Africans and then purchased by Europeans. So it's the handoff location, right?
Yeah.
Europeans are not going deep into West African, right, geography to try to extract slaves. That never really happened. But coastal African chieftain leaders did go deep into Africa to make war and acquire slaves. Now, why did they do that? Because there's a huge demand from Europe. So all these things are working together. But here's my story. Who are the people that are being put on the boats? It's not the local chiefs of the coastal villages. It's not the coastal kingdoms that are putting their own people on the boat. It doesn't make any sense. Like enslaved. They are going using the weaponry that they've purchased from the Europeans and extracting other ethnic groups and putting them. So who are they extracting? It's really interesting. Well, where I lived in Mali, the Bambara were one of the major groups that were extracted out of Africa. They were taken by the coastal chiefs because they lost the war. Does this make any sense?
Yeah.
It would be like, Appalachian Ohioans being extracted by folks on the East Coast and sent to wherever, Africa. They're the losers. And so in the sense, they're the losers of the war. And so, but they're not losers. They lost historically that war and became slaves. So check it out.
Yeah.
I'm with my wife standing there and I'm inland. I'm not on the coast. I'm with people who have a history. They know well what slavery is. And they're trying to place my wife. Are you Fula? So that's an ethnic group. Are you Bambara? Are you Mandingue? What are you? Right? What are you? Ashanti? And they're trying to ask her, but she can't answer because her history has been detached.
Yeah.
She doesn't know, but she knows she's from West Africa. And they know too. It's really interesting. They're like, you're definitely West African, but you're not a Bambara. And so what they said is you must be, and they use this word, and this is why I want to share this with you. It's fascinating. You're the loser. Like that's actually, you're the bad one. You're the loser. And I'm like, whoa. This is too intense.
Yeah.
What do you mean she's the loser? Because see, I'm the one speaking. I'm like, no, she's not a loser. And they're like, no, she's the loser. And now remember, these are village cats. These aren't city guys. Now you can go to Africa. There's plenty of cities and big universities, and it's beautiful. And in the Western sense, the village is this whole different world. And they're like, no, I think she's the loser. And I'm like, guys. So I tell my wife, what they're saying is you probably lost the war. And she's like, well, what do they mean? So what's happening is this very interesting village conversation is being passed directly to my wife, who I love, who's Black American, and she's trying to make sense of her identity. And they're telling her she's a loser. You're talking about confusion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You talk about how history, now to me, that's deep. a heavy thing that we should talk about. But the problem is we'd already be on a rabbit trail about races, and we would already be fighting about the wrong thing. I think.
Yeah.
And that's what our podcast
Before we
is
got
trying to
anywhere
do.
close to the root. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to go to the root. And the cool part is somehow I got put in this position because I fell in love with a woman, because I fell in love with a woman.
The worst sin you can do, you know?
I know. And she fell in love with me. Somehow we got placed in. I know. Thank you. Who knew? My mom was like, someone loves you? What?
My mom's still trying to find mine.
My mom was like, wait a minute, hold on a second. No, but so I guess that story for me, it really is like real.
Yeah.
But it's hard. I might get canceled already just on this show for saying, racial stuff, but it is real. It's real.
But the thing is, it's other cultures. So you said it in such a great way because you talked about the bats first and how you were celebrating a festival where I want to say princes, and that's not the word, but like chiefs and stuff were there.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
And that you didn't want to eat a bat and you didn't know what you were eating at first, but you did it to be accepting into the culture and be like, immerse yourself into it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What if you're someone that isn't used to that? Your wife was new to this, and then to be called a loser when you're there, that's a really hard thing. But when you switch roles, I really wonder if it's like the fact that she's so detached. They're not saying she's a bad thing. They're saying she's right.
They're speaking to her history.
Yes, and she doesn't know her history because, like you said, detached. Mm-hmm. These are like life lessons that are very essential for people to get into. And when she has this, she's sitting there going, wait a minute, whoa. I can imagine you've had experiences like that being the traveler that you've done, where all of a sudden you're called the loser in a sense, and you're trying to figure out what that meant for you and growing and like, what made you go put yourself and immerse yourself in these cultures?
Yeah. So it all started when I joined the Peace Corps. So I never trashed the Peace Corps. I mean, it's trashable. There's some things in the Peace Corps that it's too corporate in a lot of ways, but I grew up, for some reason, idealized. I was very much a civil rights kid. My dad was an Anglican priest who at one point worked in Dallas. He was the white guy who served in the black neighborhood and, started a church that had an outreach center and basketball courts and cool after school programs. And so I was like 4, 5, 6 years old during that period, and all my friends were like little Dallas inner city kids. And so something happened in my consciousness that said, okay, this is cool. And so I did things all the way through college that looked like civil rightsy stuff.
Yeah.
And I like civil rightsy stuff, but what happened was when so I think that was moving me toward Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I got there, what happens, this is part of our work today too with First Things, is so much of the reality is like in your head. So I don't know if you guys know dreamers, black or white, or you name the race. They're like, oh, black people are so, this was me. Black people are so nice. This is like a really weird concept, right? Black people are so nice. Or white people have always been good to me. My wife has the same conversation. Or white people are jerks. What that is a reality that's living inside your head. And so some realities are better, right, than others. Some reality is all Asian people are stupid. You have some racist kind of idea, but it's still an idea. So what happened was I got sent with positive ideas, or now I think today in 2021, they'd be seen as negative, but I got sent to Africa with black people are the best. Africa's so cool. And I want to learn about it. But then quickly what had happened? Reality happened. Like that guy is an actual asshole. And then that woman actually takes care of me and I can trust her. That guy is probably trying to rob me. That guy takes care of or knows me and cares about what I think. And then you realize, oh, it's just life. And so, and when it's just life, it's not sexy and romantic anymore. Now it's just like, boom, boom. And that's when you learn about who you are. When you live in the idealized version of life, when you're out in the ideal all the time, what happens is you get to move your world around until you actually have to relate to real humans. And so that's what I'm always afraid about the internet. We tend to move the world around and click on the things we want, and we create a world that's only in our head. And so when you're confronted by real humans, that's when the shit hits the fan. So when that happened to me in Africa, I learned that it's not really a them problem, it's a me problem. I have a problem idealizing and trying to work on behalf of something that might not even be a thing. Like race might not even be a thing. Like it might just be kind of a lie. So that whole 2-year experience got me really interested in one thing, Brandon, which is who am I? And I got on this track where then I came back and I worked in the Bronx, and I taught, and I learned more about myself by being out of whack. You know, I wasn't a white guy in the suburbs. I was a white guy in the Bronx teaching Dominican kids at South Bronx High School. And I had to like constantly come to terms with who I am by dealing deeply with other cultures. And then I went and had an experience in Florida where it was suburban. It was basically Ohio. You guys know how Ohio all goes to Florida. You know how that works.
Yeah. We're from Ohio.
I know.
Well played. Well played.
I'll be walking around going, am I in Columbus right now? Who are these people?
Yeah.
All these Ohio State fans. Like, it's weird.
But basically, I had that experience then, and then that's another way. And so what happened, I got a little addicted to this process of being outsider and then learning about my inside through being an outsider. And so that's probably has something to do with my marriage too. Although I would say that's now as a 50-year-old, I don't do that. And I think I learned something about peace, you know, and so basically that's how I kept popping overseas. It was the same in Haiti. We went and lived. I took my family on this trip. I'm an Orthodox Christian. A lot of that motivates me, like Greeks and Russians and those kind of cats. And so I went down there to help with a little church down there with my family. That taught me a ton too. So long story short, that's how all this got into my soul and then out of my soul in the form of this nonprofit we do. But I have had a lot of help along the way. Like a lot of cool people helped me with this. So.
Where would you say you had your most spiritual experience? And I use that word freely because it's free with different parts of the world. You ate a bat. You've been to so many different places. You've seen things that are out there. What would you say brought you an awakening in your own soul?
Yeah, that's a good question. I have an answer that pops right out. So it's back with my Muslim friends in Africa. So this woke me up, right? So like, okay, I don't know about you guys. So I was brought up religious, like Episcopalian.
Yeah.
And so whatever, good or bad, I went to church on Sundays and then generally went and lived my B life and then went back on Sunday and lived A life for a couple hours and then went back to B life. Like there wasn't much interaction, you know, between the things I was doing and hearing on liturgy at church on Sunday and then my life. But don't get me wrong. Like I heard the lessons, you know, the prodigal son. I knew the words, but there wasn't like something like tangible during the week that felt like church. And then I arrived in Africa. Now, I don't know about you guys, but if you've lived in any kind of traditional Muslim society, you quickly see that each day is demarcated in a way. So for instance, the days are broken into 5 parts because there's 5 prayer cycles. And then each day also has its own relationship to the calendar as per Muhammad and the Quran. And then Fridays are a special day that changes. And then you see that Muslims in traditional societies, be careful now because there's different types of societies, just like Christian societies.
Yeah.
But the traditional Muslim societies, they live according to a pattern. They live according to a pattern that is corresponding with their actual religious life. Now, that doesn't make them sinless. That's not what I'm talking about. They're not always like better people, but Monday has a relationship to Tuesday that's related to the Quran and what you wear, what you do, the words you speak on different days are dictated by actually your faith. Now, I found that interesting
Yeah.
When I was living in Peace Corps and seeing the pattern, I was really intrigued. I was interested in that because I was like, wow, these cats, well, because our cab would be driving. So maybe I would be coming back from the city or something. My cab would be driving and then it would pull over and I'd be like, you know, Iamunye, what's happening? And the guy would say, what's prayer? What do you think? And then I'd go, oh yeah, it's prayer. So we'd all get out. Now I wasn't a Muslim, so I wouldn't pray. I'd just chill. But then the cab driver and the other people in the cab, because you never take a cab by yourself in West Africa. They all start praying. They bring out the rugs. And so what's that about? Well, it's about uniting these two worlds. So when I got back home, I really liked that. But in Christian tradition, I didn't know what that was. Like, where was that? Like, where does that happen? How does it? That's what led me to the Orthodox tradition because, you know, it's the same. I can't explain it. I don't want to get into it too much, but you know that there's the first hour, the third hour, the sixth hour in the Orthodox Christian tradition. There's all these hours to a day, and each one comes with a prayer. And then there's a fasting cycle. There's a feasting cycle, and you realize, oh, these cats are doing the same thing. And but because I was a Christian, I had that concept of Christ, so I'm like, I'm gonna go with that. And I got into it pretty deep. And that's basically how my wife and I ended up getting married because we both love that tradition. But long story short, the Muslims helped me to awaken to this concept that your daily life is also connected to a spiritual life. So that was one. The second one was in the Georgian Republic because, guys, well, let's invite everybody right now.
Okay.
So our work is in wacky places where people don't go, like West Africa and Sierra Leone. But check it out. We go and work in Georgia too. So Georgia's a little country in the Caucasus. So it's between Russia and Iran, basically. It's right between this really unique mountains. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. And it's a really unique country. We work in the South where it's rough, like sometimes non-electricity. It's a hard living, right? But we take people there as a way to raise awareness and cash. And I think we're going to go again. So I'm inviting all of you, Brandon and Gavin. And I think her name is it Jessica? No,
we have Jessica. She's with the Breakthrough Show.
Yeah, Jessica.
Jessica's invited.
Bob Seymour is one that's on our Friday shows. He drives around the country on his motorcycle spreading delight. So he'll go to restaurants and buy breakfast for people. He'll buy sucks. He's awesome.
I saw Bob on one of your shows, or maybe it was on Sunny's show a long time ago. I think that's Bob. I think
he's all around.
He's everywhere. We have Brett. Brett would be coming out because he's just a Vegas guy and needs to see the rest of the world. And we have a bunch of people here that would be great for this. Actually, it goes along with my one question I was going to ask you. I wrote and I was waiting is with the lessons you've learned, what would be where would be someone you wish everyone can travel because they should see the world? Like just to open their eyes.
And I'm not just saying this because I love it or because we go there. I'm telling you, the Georgian Republic you have it all there. First of all, if you just like geography, you got the most beautiful mountains. You've got an incredible sea, the Black Sea. You can be in an 85-degree beach setting, and then in 5 hours, you can be one of the highest mountains in the world. You have what we think of as Western culture. You know, big cities, gleaming skyscrapers, but then you have really traditional culture where like you're talking about, you're eating the cheese that you saw come out of the goat that morning, or not that morning, but you know how cheese works.
Yeah.
But it's that same goat that's like in your living room, you're eating that cheese. So you can see the real, and here's the coolest part for me. Our country, whether we like to admit it or not, comes out of a type of Christian tradition. Like it was filled with Christians. And so we use certain vocabulary because of that. Well, the Georgians are also in the Christian tradition. So it's foreign, but it's not like crazy foreign. You know, like, I don't know about y'all, but sometimes when my friends and I travel, if it's too foreign, it takes a lot. You have to really work yourself in. Southeast Asia is like that for me. Like, I don't really get what's going on, you know?
Yeah.
Georgia, you kind of recognize what's going on. And then all of a sudden you'd be like, what the heck is going on? So it provides a really unique kind of learning moment, but it's also familiar enough where you can enjoy yourself. I'm telling you, if I'm taking anybody anywhere, that it's Georgia. And the dinners these guys have, they call the Supra. I highly recommend. You can go to our website. You can see we're really into this. It's a toasting dinner with 16 traditional toasts that are all about. It's hard to explain, but it's a gorgeous evening of talking about deep or heavy things lightly. That's kind of what the dinner is about.
Can you give us an example of that? Like, because I picture sitting around a fire with my friends, family, and you're all sitting around enjoying it, camping, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say would be because you're connected, you're
difference?
having,
So here's the difference. It's so cool you ask, because this is one of my favorite things. This just changed my life a lot, these cats doing these dinners. So let's say that the three of us sidled up. Well, I'll tell you a story. I was flying into Georgia. I was going with my buddy, the co-founder, a guy named Ryan. We got waylaid on our way in Europe, so we had to take a flight through Russia, and then we got to Istanbul, and we were way late. And let's just put it this way: we were late. It was a mess. It was like an extra 24 hours of flying. We flew into the Georgian Republic. We got in like 4 a.m. and my buddy picked me up. Well, my buddy and his friend. So there's now four of us. We're driving. We get to, what are we thinking, right? I can't wait to go to sleep. I'm going to sleep.
Yeah.
We get there. We sit down at the kitchen table, and then a bottle of vodka. Boom. And then all of a sudden, this is true, man. This is true. All of a sudden, a very nice woman, I think it's Dato's mother, comes out, a little bit of cheese. And then all of a sudden, like a little sister comes out, and then there's some onions, and then there's some bread. And then my buddy says, okay, I'll tamada. And I'm like, oh, okay, what's happening? Tamada is the director of the table. They're like the MC, like wiki wiki wiki. They're the MC. They're gonna run the table, and they're really cool. Like in Georgia, it's kind of like a thing. Like, oh, that guy's a tamada, and so but my buddy's just my buddy, and he's like, okay. And then everybody gets their drink, and the first toast is to gratitude for life, giving thanks to God. Then the second toast, I want to toast to your family, especially to the bonds of blood that brought us together. And then, and so we get to the fourth toast, and my buddy and I are starting to feel drunk, and we're eating, and each toast is followed by something called a sagradzelo. So if we were at the table right now, guys, let's say I'm the tamada.
Say that again, please.
A sagradzelo.
Okay, I just thought you said Godzilla. I wanted to be safe.
It's followed by a Godzilla.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm talking a lot, but what? I got one shot on the job.
Oh, you're good, man. So
You're gonna come back. Trust me. I'm fascinated. I signed me and Brett up. Like, he just doesn't know to your thing. I signed him up to everybody's thing. He just doesn't know it, and that's why he's like, "Where did these emails come from?"
Tell Brett right on. Tell him I'll catch him at the super table doing a toast like
Boom.
this. So
I'm sorry.
So the tamada now, the idea of the sagradzelo is, and this is the part. This is why it's different, Brandon. Is at an American table, we're all sitting there still. I don't think we all went to bed. We're fun people. But the thing is we're sort of talking as per what we want to talk. Like, man, I was tired. That lady on that plane stunk or whatever. Like, woo. And then it's classic American. It's driven by the individual's desire to say what they want to say. But the tamada locks it down. And now remember, this is really informal. This is just four dudes sitting there. But the tamada is pushing the conversation around. And here's how he does it with a sagradzelo. So a sagradzelo is after the toast has been offered, say, to the blood of family, or another one is to the chase. The chase means to being romantic, whether you're a man or a woman. It's to searching for your love, whatever the toast is. Now the sagradzelo is Gavin, do you have a sagradzelo? And what you're trying to do, this is the Greek tradition of the symposium, like Plato and those guys, is what you're trying to do is add or build onto his toast. And so you can say whatever you want. The tamada is not going to be like, no. But what he's giving you an invitation.
Not good enough.
Not good enough. Why you ruin table, Gavin?
No prayer for you.
No vodka for you. No, he's inviting you into, as they would say, inviting you into the theme or into life about romance or whatever the toast. So it would go like, inviting to the blood of the unity that brings the family together. And then you would say something like, I have a Sagrazello. And then you would add. And then Brandon, you would say, that reminds me of my uncle. He always used to say. And then you would say, Tamada, could I have a Sagrazello? Because you're trying to respect the Tamada's role. And so then I would say, yeah, of course, Brandon, and then you would say, to my uncle, who always and you're building. So if you start to have a conversation like that, it's really light and fun, but it's also at the same time weirdly heavy, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
How did we get so heavy? But actually, you're really enjoying it. So we got to the fourth toast, and I'm realizing the sun's coming up, and we're tired. And my buddy says, you can never, ever finish a supra on the fourth toast because no supra is complete without the fifth. And so I'm like, okay, well, what's the fifth toast? It's to the dead. Everybody stands up. And now you're like, this is going to be weird and boring and not boring, but like creepy, but it's not. Because in the Georgian tradition, the dead they're not dead. They're sleeping. They're with us, right? They're with us in all these unique ways.
Yeah.
So now he toasts to he had a tragedy and he toasts to his brother. And then there's like all this pressure sitting there. And then I think I've never really toasted to my father. And then I start to toast to my father. And then what happens is you're standing there and you're so deep, but you're sharing this. And it's just like 6 o'clock on a random Tuesday, bro. And you're like, this needs to happen in everyone's life. Like, I love this thing. And then the sixth toast, which is to joy and children. And then the seventh toast. And so you see there's this pattern that goes through the evening of taking you down and then taking you up. And it's just freaking gorgeous. And I want everyone to experience this because it's so old world and it's enriching. And we don't do enough of it. We do a lot of fun stuff. We don't do enough of that, though.
We focus on being entertained compared to actually I'm not going on a tangent. I've already been on 2 this morning.
Oh my God.
I like entertaining.
The thought of all this is just so captivating though. Like you said you're inviting us. When are you planning on doing this trip again? Because I'm going to do everything I can to go.
Let's do it. So right now we do it like appointment dining. We do like appointment traveling. So here's the 2 ways. There's a trip shaping up for the first couple weeks in September of this year. My guys in Georgia, they think we can. The restrictions are off enough now, where they're really excited. They want to drive they're really good guys, and they take us around, and we set it all up. I used to live there, so I have all these connections, and so that's where we have 4 people right now interested. We usually like to take between 6 and 10, but no more than 10 because it gets a little difficult. But say, Gavin, you guys all get off the phone, you call some people and you want to go, and there's 6 of you, we can go whenever because we have all our connections. And so we could set up a trip just for you. And it's not crazy expensive because we do it. We do it in light of how we live. Like, you won't stay in 5-star hotels. You're going to go under the radar for the whole trip.
Oh, that's what I want, dude. Yeah. I want to be like as in the culture as possible. I always bring it up on here because I have so many memories from it, some experiences. I took a trip to Belize for 2 weeks a few years ago, and we didn't stay in any kind of resort. We were if we were lucky enough to have a shower, it was an ice cold shower with chlorinated salt water. Like we ate rice and beans every day, and I gotta say, it was one of the most enriching, memorable experiences of my life. So I'm perfectly fine with doing the bare minimum and getting that true experience of what it is to live there.
Yeah, you got it. It's all right there. You understand that, but we'll do that in the Caucasus, and it's really unforgettable. We're not going to make it so you're starving to death. Trust me. But the point is, you got it. You spelled it out right there. Yeah. And Belize is cool. My daughter went to Belize and she raved about it too. She just raved about it.
Oh, it's a beautiful country, man.
Yeah. We'll put that out there. If people want to go, man, we'll take
I'm getting questions, and I actually want to know. I want to go. What is the cost usually for something like this? And then my other question, because I wrote it here, is what is the most difficult part for people to know about with adapting to a new culture like that? Like they have to know they're walking into something that is going to get them out of their comfort zone. And I think that's the hardest part for people to understand when being open to this. So
By the way, that's really part of we had to develop a training, and I'll talk about that for sure. I want to.
Please.
In terms of the cost, so here's what's really cool. I'm giving away the guts of. We can do it at cost for 10 days for something like $1,400, but we need to make money for our foundation. So what happens is we talk to people individually. So we generally go, it's like $1,950 for 10 days. That's everything. Like you pay that, and then we just take care of it. But
holy shit, that's not bad at all.
No,
like
now the flights is that's separate. The flight.
That's
is
what I
separate.
thought.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense.
Because we can't. People come on. We could try to do it, but then I become their booking agent. I don't really want to do that. We say we're starting. Yeah, we're starting in Tbilisi on this day. You get there, I'll help you. I got all kinds of suggestions. I can get you. Now, so for $1,950, we make a little bit. My board is always telling me to make more. They're like, "You're really bad at business," because I am. But awareness is more important to me than money. Money always follows awareness, right? When people love what you do, then the money comes. So that's kind of around numbers. As for the Brandon, man, here's the deal. When we interview to try to get people to come, it's almost impossible to figure out if they're going to be good, because it's almost impossible to know what kind of discomfort they're willing to suffer. It's almost impossible. Peace Corps has the same problem. Like, I can't recreate it in an interview. So one of the questions I always ask is like, what's the most uncomfortable moment you had in life? And someone will say like, I thought I was going to fail a test. And you're like, is this the one? Am I going to be able to figure this out? So what we try to do right now is discomfort is an art.
Yes.
Think of Navy SEALs, right? They sign up knowing they are going to be uncomfortable. It's one of the things they want because the discomfort allows them to be excellent in uncomfortable situations. So they know. So we sort of know too, it's a different kind of discomfort. It's more of a spiritual discomfort because you can get used to a mud hut pretty fast. I did. You start to realize, oh yeah, I have, termites in my wall, but that's normal. But what's really uncomfortable is feeling alone or feeling out of your culture zone or feeling like Jake right now in Sierra Leone because of the pandemic, we had to bring everybody home, but he's gone back on his own. So our guy is on his own. Usually we send people in twos. And his hardest thing right now is he feels alone, but there's people all around. Yeah. And so he always says, I'm not really alone, but the culture separates me and I feel alone in my own culture. So how do we train that? Well, here's the number one way is pick something in your life that you don't want to get rid of and spend a week with us getting rid of it. And so we invite people to Appalachia where we live in a trailer. I want to share this story. You get
to share it, and then I'm gonna take the last part because you're gonna like how we end our shows. Okay, I have a feeling you're gonna just jump on it. So go ahead. I'm sorry I interrupted.
Cool, because I got another. I got to tell you about an interview I got to do because I want some of your listeners to come check it out. But this short story is really short. So we started our work. A lot of people said, "I like what you guys do, but you're overseas, and why don't you help Americans or whatever?" And they're right. So we got a nice little grant to start work in Appalachia. But here's the thing. We want to use the same model. We don't want to we don't roll into Sierra Leone and then stay at a hotel or build a big office. This is not obnoxious, but Americans do this, Yeah, so what we did is the same. So what we found is a little lady on Social Security who had a kind of pretty beaten down double wide in a holler in Mitchell County in Appalachia. And we said, it took a lot of time to find people. People are distrustful in the mountains. They don't know what the hell. Who are you people? And so we found her, and she said, "I got a little place." We went and saw it, guys. It's banged up joint. It's simple, and we put our guys in there. Well, what happened was one of our guys happens to be he's a Christian guy. By the way, we're not a Christian organization, except that we have an ethos of Christianity. We like it. So this cat, Aaron, went to church, and one day they said, "Where do you live?" And he said, "I live down the holler over in Beulah." And they went, "Oh, okay." And they came by and visited him. And they said, "We have to fix up your your house. So they gave him all this charity and we're there trying to help. And so what I said is, this is perfect. They respect us. They see that we're not playing around. We're not rolling in with cash and a plan for them. We're trying to flip it. We're rolling in simple and trying to listen and then say, what do you guys need? And then try to help them with resources for whatever project they have. So that makes me happy. So we try to take folks out of their comfort zone and put them into that trailer before they go to Guatemala or to West Africa or to the Caucasus as a way to sort of understand.
I love that. I'm somebody, Gavin's traveled. I've traveled. I've not gone and done to the extent you've done. Like for real, I haven't slept in a hut, but like I've done other things, and that's been something that I'd be interested in 100%. I believe you're supposed to live your actions and let those be your words.
That's right, brother.
And that's just how it is. So how we end the show, because we have 5 minutes left.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
We have our own way of shots, and we end it by giving positive affirmations for everybody to help them get through their day. So Gavin will show you the first example. I will go second, and then you will take us out. So I don't want to use the wrong term, but Gavin is our Godzilla. And I know that's not the right term. That's why I made that joke.
Awesome. It's excellent.
But Gavin's going to lead the first part, show you how we do this, and then you're going to take us out. And John, stick around after the show. I want to talk really quick. Sure. I love what you're doing, and keep changing the world. I just want to say that on air for everybody, because don't ever stop, buddy. I love what you're doing. You're such good energy. All right, Gavin, show us how it's done, buddy.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah. So a lot of people that I know are they're very scared, they're very weird, they're very cautious about traveling to any other country just because of the horror stories that they hear about it. And when you live in fear like that, it really, really does take away from all the unimaginable experiences and opportunities that you can find in your life. I had a very close friend of mine ask me, what can I get, or what can I get in Europe that I cannot get here in the States? And I found myself not being able to give him a direct answer to that because I've never been to Europe. But the best thing that I could give to him was just the overall experience. When I did take that trip to Belize, even now, I couldn't tell you a direct thing that you could get in Belize that you couldn't get in America, because there isn't a solid direct thing. There's like certain foods and stuff like that, but I'm sure you could still find those here. But just the overall atmosphere is what it is what you're missing out on. The people, the culture, the smell of the air, the way that it feels, the sun hits you differently. And talking about the people specifically, learning about their history adds so much to how you put perspective on the world. A lot of people, as we were talking earlier, a lot of people who argue about race issues, I don't believe that their complete opinion would change on it, but I do think their arguments and their perspective would completely change if they knew this history of how people came over from one country to another, not even just from Africa to America, because slavery has been an issue throughout all of history. But seeing that it started out with a war that had nothing to do with us and then ended with us does change your perspective a little bit, saying, okay, the blame isn't all just one person or just one type of people. The blame kind of goes everywhere. And that puts a lot of other things into perspective for you as well. How there's a lot of struggles you have to come over. You have to learn how to be uncomfortable, which I really love doing, in all honesty. And it's one of the most difficult things ever, but there's nothing but benefit you. Like anytime that I travel with a book bag, and that is it. And whatever I can fit into that book bag, that is the clothes, the tools, and the survival equipment or entertainment that I have for that trip. No matter how long it is, I have that book bag. And that's what you want to do. You want to try to break down your life to learn about what your book bag is. What do you need to put in that? And what is absolutely essential to make you just comfortable enough to survive being uncomfortable, and what you need to actually survive in general. So please go out there, be uncomfortable a bit, experience culture that while you might be able to get something similar at home, you will never be able to get the same thing out in the world.
Mm-hmm. I call that my oh shit bag. It's when everything goes bad, you grab it and go, oh shit, and you run out the door. No, I'm just kidding, buddy. In all seriousness, coming from me, I've been thinking a lot lately because we do a lot of talking on here. We do a lot of connecting and we try to bring up the best. But the thing is, this hit me this morning and it hit me hard. And then John brought it up too. Like, it's about being and hearing others, seeing others, and being able to connect with others outside of your own. And these words came to me this morning, and I just feel it's perfect for the way we end our show today is, are you listening when others open up to you? The difference between hearing a person and listening to a person is when you actually hear a person, they're opening their heart and you're opening yours. Where when you listen to others, you're thinking of a list of ways you can respond to them. Take the time to hear others and stop thinking of your list. Because the truth is, you never know who's telling you something that might change your world.
Gagi Marjos, that means cheers, man. That's hot.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I'll just say there's a strand in life that everybody knows, but we don't act on it, which is that struggle or sacrifice leads to creation. So like when you're going to have sex with your wife or whoever you're learning about on any given time, you have to strip down, which is a type of uncovering, a type of discomfort, a type of revealing that can be not easy to do. But out of that comes the possibility of a child. So struggle, discomfort, and getting over some of your vanity always leads to creation. Now, some of it's better than others, right? Some is more authentic than others. What I would say is to truly create something beautiful, you have to sacrifice something. So I hope the sacrifice is beautiful and for the right thing and toward beauty. And generally, you see this over and over again. You see it over and over again wherever we travel, is that when people sacrifice and struggle, it leads to beauty. So that's what I would toast to.
So,
I hope that
say
works.
it again. Say it again. How do we say it?
So at the end of each toast, then that dinner I was telling you about, you say Gagi Marjos.
Ready?
Gagi Marjos.
You said I have to stand up, right?
Yes, correct. Let's do it.
For the
I like it.
All right, guys. Gagi Marcos.
Gagi Marjos.
Gagi Marjos.
Gagi Marjos. Thank you guys for tuning in. Have a great one, guys. Go spread love. Go spread positivity. Change the world.